being magnetic is so powerful, but you've got to learn when to switch it on and off. Like Marilyn Monroe. You know that story about Marilyn Monroe? Marilyn Monroe's photographer's wife was walking with Marilyn Monroe one day in New York, and no one was recognizing her. And they were walking through New York, and Marilyn said to this woman, she said, "Do you want to watch me become her?" And the woman didn't really know what she meant. And then Marilyn switched something on inside of herself. And within seconds, cars were stopping, cameras were coming out, people were flocking to her because she switched on her fucking magnetism. It's internal. It's an internal fucking switch. It's like witchcraft, honestly. Learning how to be magnetic is one thing, but learning how to harness that power so that you can protect yourself from bullshit, that's a whole other fucking thing. Honestly, being a magnetic person is dangerous. No one talks about that because you pull in so much. You're a magnet. It's literally like, imagine a magnet just pulling in loads of bits of metal. Like, you can go for a walk and you just pull everyone in. And it's like that with life. That's why it's called being magnetic, is when you are in such alignment and such joy that the things you want cannot fucking help themselves but be drawn to you. And the reason I say magnetism is dangerous is because you need the gift of discernment, because not everything that you pull in is meant for you. You're just pulling it in. And just because you've pulled it in, it doesn't mean it's meant for you. Not everything is divine. Yeah? Sometimes you'll pull in. Women know this best of all. Just because men are gawking at you on the street and asking for your number doesn't fucking mean that they're meant for you. You just pulled it in. Yeah? This is why you need the gift of discernment. You need to learn to trust your intuition. That's the next step. From learning how to be magnetic is one thing, but learning how to harness that power so that you can protect yourself from bullshit, that's a whole other fucking thing. And it's something that women especially need to learn, because we have this good girl complex, right? Where we feel bad at times, or even guilty, for not wanting to be friends with another woman, or not wanting to take this guy out on a date because he asked. We constantly betray our own boundaries for other people because we think that's what it means to be polite. Yeah? But it's bullshit. You need to be a bitch. You need to be a magnetic and generous bitch. You don't have to let everyone in. People need to earn a seat at the table in your life. I feel like for a lot of women, we're afraid of the visibility. We're afraid we're not going to be able to handle it. We're afraid because we don't have the boundaries to match our magnetism. Because when you are magnetic, you just pull everything in, and you need the boundaries to be able to say, I'm sorry, I don't give my phone number out to everyone. I'm sorry, I'm not available right now. Because if you don't, you're going to feel like you need to just be grateful for everything that's coming your way, and you let bullshit people into your inner circle. You let people into your life that want to leech off you because they can feel that you're on this ascension and it's so great to be around you, and you take it as a compliment, but they're leeching. They just want to take from you, and you're always drained, and you end up in these relationships and friendships that aren't reciprocal. But you're too magnetic for that stuff, so you're just not going to do that. So something that people don't really talk about is that when you are so fucking magnetic, when you're powerful and you know that you're powerful, we all are, by the way. Some of us just forget. And I'm here to remind you how fucking powerful you are. That's my job on this planet, right? But when you are in your power, right? You know when a woman is in her power and she's full of light and love and joy and she's magnetic. She is literally turning heads and metaphorically turning heads. Everything she wants, it just comes to her. Those women need to have the strongest fucking boundaries. And if you don't have the boundaries to match your magnetism, you create a circle, an inner circle of friends that just want to use you. And no one really talks about this because we're almost just so excited to become successful and reach our potential that we don't even think about the problems that come with that. And then you feel so guilty for you're like, I'm not going to complain about people using me because I should be grateful for this success. But we need to talk about it. We need to talk about that side of being magnetic because no one really does. Women are supposed to just be so grateful and so grateful and so grateful and so grateful. Swallow our humble crumble, yeah? If you start talking to someone about, God, everyone's trying to use me, da-da-da-da-da, it gives tiny violin vibes, yeah? Woe is me. But we need to talk about it because it just leaves you open to being used. And this is your reminder that you are allowed to dictate who stays in your life because guess what? You don't owe people your time. You don't owe people friendship. You don't owe random people friendship just because they want to be your friend. You don't owe someone a date just because they asked you out on a date. You can say no. And magnetic, open, compassionate, loving, generous women need to learn boundaries more because, okay, if you don't have the boundaries to match your magnetism, yeah, strong fucking boundaries. Brené Brown calls them boundaries of steel. I love that. Boundaries of steel. Compassionate, magnetic women need boundaries of steel because guess what? If you don't have those boundaries, you're not going to be magnetic anymore. You're going to be diluting your medicine. You're going to be diluting your energy and the spell that you've spent so long casting for yourself to be this way. Because you're just going to have people leeching off you because you feel guilty and you feel like you need to give it out. Yeah? Women who get successful very quick, they'll often like overcompensate because they feel guilty about their success. And they give so much to the people around them and they get used and used and used. Not even just women. Don't you see it in like NFL players and stuff? I think I listened to it in an interview once, something like NFL players who get really rich really young end up going broke so fast because they give back so quickly to the people in their lives. And actually, the more generous thing to do when you're on that cusp of generating abundance, whether it's success, money, or just joy in your life, the actual thing that you should do is be selfish with it and wait until you sustain that vibration long enough to be able to give back from a place of abundance instead of just emptying yourself out. Okay, as some of you know, I've been looking for my dream apartment in LA for the last 6 months and I finally found it. But instead of rushing to just fill it with furniture, I'm being really intentional about giving every room a purpose. I've been building these very serious Wayfair wish lists for every single room. I'm collecting Art Deco style sconces to match the bones of the building as it was built in the 1920s. Mirrors, accent pillows for the living room, and they even have my dream retro fridge and oven sets. Their selection is absolutely massive. I can really stay true to the style of the apartment while also shopping across totally different budgets. So if you're ready to get organized, refreshed, and back on track this new year for way less, head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair. Every style, every home. Let's get back into the episode. I think you already know who those people are in your life, and you can feel it. And the weird thing is that you feel bad for feeling it. You feel like, oh no, not them. They're lovely. They're lovely. But you know, and you're sort of like gaslighting yourself because you don't want to think of someone in your life as being a user. But you know that they want access to you and your energy because you can feel it. It feels quite suffocating, or it feels like, ugh. Or maybe they say some things, or they expect you to like always pay for dinner or something, and they never, like, you can feel that there's a resentment there for your success. I had that with my first boyfriend, and I always felt that there was an enormous, steaming hot resentment for my success. You just know. And then I've had it with friends over the years, but I broke that pattern. 2 years ago, I broke that pattern. I broke that fucking pattern. And then I had 2 years with almost no female friends. And now I have had so many corrective experiences where people are actively hoisting me up for a change. You deserve nothing short of delicious, magnetic, reciprocal friendship. And if you are ascending, you need the boundaries to match your fucking magnetism. Being magnetic is a gift. Being a woman that is so full of love and life and energy that you can feel that you touch people just with your energy. You shift the fucking room when you walk in. You know who you are. You know who you are. And you make people feel amazing. It's a gift to just walk in a room and shift the energy because of your energy, right? You're a creator. You shift the rooms that you walk into. You don't adjust to its temperature. You set the fucking temperature. But the danger of being magnetic is that everyone sort of thinks that they have this like claim on you. They think that they have this thing with you, and they want something from you, and they want to take from you, and they want to be around you, and they want to harness your energy, and they want it to rub off on them. And if you don't have the boundaries necessary to match your magnetism, you'll just let everyone in out of some weird guilt thing that women have been taught to have, because you think, oh, well, I'm just open for everyone. No, yeah? Empathy without boundaries is self-harm. You're going to let people in that don't belong there. Empathy without boundaries is self-harm. And actually, I think women are most dangerous when they are becoming more magnetic, because there's this guilt that you feel, right, for your success. And so you're in this like overcompensating stage. You want to make sure that no one hates you. Yeah. That my family still like me even though I'm getting all this success, and you can feel yourself rising above, and you're like, oh, I'm still the same. I'm still the same. You don't need to do it, right? You are allowed to ascend, and you are allowed to have the boundaries necessary to match your ascension. Because if you don't have a good circle of people around you, and you don't have boundaries with your success, if you don't have boundaries around your generosity, you will be taken advantage of, period. It's gonna happen. There might even be someone in your life now that you know is already fucking doing that shit. When you're someone that makes people feel safe, and you're someone that's so disarming, you're the kind of person that people say, oh, I just feel like I can tell you everything. When that's you, it's a bit of a paradox, because you make them feel safe, but it can be quite draining for you because everyone interacts with you in that way. Everyone. And so you need to assert your boundaries. You need to learn how to exit a conversation when necessary. You need to learn to say, I'm sorry, I don't give my phone number out to people. Right? You need to learn to say, I'm sorry, let me check my calendar, right? When people try and arrange things with you on the spot in person, I'm going to have to check my calendar. No, sorry, I don't do that. I don't go out in the evenings, whatever. You need to have those boundaries at the ready, because that is what keeps your magnetism safe. You're not building walls around your power. It's what is going to make your shine sustainable, because you can't keep shining in this way that people love if you're just giving it out all the time, if you're being porous to the world around you because you think you owe it to people. Boundaries are what keep your magnetism sustainable. It's what keeps your light shining so that you can be the light in the dark for other people. But you can't be that if you don't have boundaries. You don't owe it to anyone to just sort of give everyone a seat at the table of your life. When you're magnetic, people are drawn to you, but don't mistake that for your obligation. You're not obligated to give it out. Your energy, it's like, you may not be able to touch it, but it's your most precious resource. It's your most precious fucking resource, and you're not obligated to give it out. I used to do this all the time. My thing is giving advice, right? So historically, I have attracted a lot of broken people into my life. I've even had entire friendships with women that weren't even really friendships. It was some unofficial, like, client relationship where they were just getting coaching all the time. And guess what? That's not their fault. I take full responsibility. The world needs your light, but you need to gatekeep it and guard it and put boundaries around it so that it's sustainable, so that this light that you have can keep fucking radiating and shining. You can't be that beacon of light that the world or your community or your family loves you for if you keep spilling it out. You're going to drain, you're going to get burnt out, and it's going to get in the cycle of resentment. Your magnetism and your light needs boundaries. Not everyone deserves access to it. Okay, I'm going to end the episode there. I love you. Mwah!